I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well-deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
What in the world just went down? Donald Trump just held a disastrous press dinner with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This was all broadcast live, and it was just a total mess. Donald Trump here said that, yes, indeed, we've done 90 deals in 90 days because he has sent letters. So what he's talking about with Netanyahu there, it gets much worse. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, on tariffs, what happened to 90 trade deals in 90 days?
We've spoken to everybody. We know everything. It's all done. I told you, we'll make some deals, but for the most part, we're going to send a letter. We're going to say, welcome to the United States if you'd like to participate in the greatest, most successful country ever. I mean, we're doing better than ever. I don't think, and you're going to see these numbers soon. We've never had numbers like this. We've never had investment like this. We have more than 90. We're going to have much more than 90, but most of those are going to be sent a letter.
Then Donald Trump says, we're done. We did it. 90 deals, 90 days. I've sent letters to countries, and I've told them what the tariffs are. There's nothing for me to do. Those are deals. Here, play this clip.
United Kingdom, we made a deal with China. We made a deal, we're close to making a deal with India. Others we met with, and we don't think we're going to be able to make a deal, so we just send them a letter. If you want to play ball, you have to. This is what you have to pay. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're done. We're sending out letters to various countries, telling them how much tariffs they have to pay. Some will maybe adjust a little bit, depending if they have a cause. We're not going to be unfair about it. And actually, it's a small fraction compared to what we should be getting. We could be asking for much more.
This is how deranged it is. He says it's done because he sent letters, and I've done other videos on this where I've gone through these letters, and they look like a fifth grader, no offense to fifth graders, looks like a fifth grader cosplaying as a bad fifth grader wrote this. And then Donald Trump says, look, the letters are the deals. And he says, we did what we said. Congratulations. He goes, I'll tell countries, congratulations. Welcome to the United States. You did it. What? Here, play this clip.
Because you're sending the letters to follow on Ed had asked earlier. You're counting these as deals by saying, here's the tariff rate we're going to charge.
I'm saying, here it is. Congratulations. Welcome to the United States. I hope you make a lot of money, and you're going to pay us money.
Also, why is this even in front of the press? What are we even, what good? So then Donald Trump with Netanyahu there, he goes, you know who says that America's so hot? He goes, the king of Saudi Arabia and the head of Qatar and UAE, they say we're so hot. And then Donald Trump lies and claims that he's brought in $15 trillion to the United States already. He has not. That would almost be the entire GDP, or like 70% of the GDP of the U.S. Qatar's GDP is like $150 billion, and the UAE's is like $400 billion. Saudi Arabia's $2 trillion. What, you've brought in $5 trillion, 5 times what their GDP is. What are you talking about? Here, play this clip.
But we're up to over $15 trillion coming into our country. There's never been anything like it anywhere in the world. There's never been an investment like that anywhere in the world. Look, I told this story, and I just told it to Bibi backstage. I was talking to him, and I said, the king of Saudi Arabia, smart guy. And also we went to Qatar and we went to UAE. Really 3 strong leaders, smart guys. They all told me the same thing. And then that was reiterated at NATO just recently when we got back, when they agreed to spend $1 trillion a year, by the way, which is about 3 times what they were spending. But they all said the same thing. We thought your country was dead. Horrible term, right? We thought the United States of America was dead, and now you're presiding over the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country in the world. I think Bibi would admit it, even hotter than Israel, although Israel was pretty hot about a week ago, I can tell you, for the wrong reasons.
And then Benjamin Netanyahu knows how to play Donald Trump, and Netanyahu says, I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter that I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee, nominating you for the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, Benjamin Netanyahu awarding Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm sure that the Nobel Peace Prize board thinks very highly of this. And being sarcastic, of course. Here, play this clip.
I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, Bibi.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
So then Donald Trump is asked by a reporter, okay, so you've moved the tariff deadline from July 9th to August 1st. So is the August 1st deadline now firm? And Trump's like, well, it's firm, but it's not firm. Taco, play this clip.
And the August 1 deadline, I mean, is the August 1 deadline firm now? Is that it?
I would
Because you're
say
moving it now.
firm. No, I would say firm, but not 100% firm. If they call up and they say, would like to do something a different way, we're going to be open to that. But essentially, that's the way it is right now, yeah.
Near Donald Trump is rambling again. Let's play it.
Mr. President, are the tariff letters that you sent today final offers, or are they
More or
negotiable?
less final offer.
So South Korea, Japan should take it or
We're
leave
always
it?
subject to negotiate something that's fair, but we've talked to most of the countries, and pretty much they've had their way for many, many decades, as you know. And it was time that we just wanted fairness. This is not really equitable from our standpoint because it's just a small token by comparison to the damage that's been done over the years. But we had no other president that was willing to do this.
Then Donald Trump says that his bombing of Iran reminded him of Truman dropping nukes on Japan. Here, play this clip.
When you think in carrying the biggest bombs ever, the biggest bombs that we've ever dropped on anybody, when you think non-nuclear, and we want to keep it non-nuclear, by the way. But they did a phenomenal job. It was an amazing job. And I think that was, I was talking to Bibi about it before, that was the very beginning of the end. It ended very quickly after that. I don't want to say what it reminded me of, but if you go back a long time ago, it reminded people of a certain other event. And his Harry Truman's picture is now in the lobby, in a nice location in the lobby where it should have been, but that stopped a lot of fighting. And this stopped a lot of fighting. When that happened, it was a whole different ballgame.
Then Donald Trump praises Iran at this dinner for coordinating with Trump and the regime, the Trump regime, when and where Iran was going to bomb the American base in Qatar. And he goes, I really appreciate that. 14 missiles they launched, we let them do it. Here, play this clip.
And, you know, we were, at the end, 14 missiles we shot, and every single missile was shot out of the air. It was pretty amazing. That was sort of the end. And they told us they were coming and where they were and what time they were coming. And they said, if you'd like to have a different time, we'll do that. And that's respect when they do that. I appreciated that they did that. There was no surprise. We got the soldiers out of the base in Qatar, in this case. But they knew they were coming. 14 missiles were coming.
Then Donald Trump attacks Zoran Mamdani. Play it.
So we'll see you in New York next year.
Oh, well, look, I'm going to come there with the President Trump, and we'll see how do you know who the mayor will be? I don't know that. Do we know that?
He's going to be very fine, and who knows, we don't know who the mayor's going to be yet. But this is a communist. He's not a socialist, he's a communist. And he said some really bad things about Jewish people, and he said some really bad things about a lot of people. And I think he's going through a little bit of a honeymoon right now, but he might make it. But, you know, it all comes through the White House. He needs the money through the White House. He needs a lot. He's going to behave. He'll behave. He better behave. Otherwise, he's going to have big problems. But it's a philosophy that this country is not ready for, and it never will be.
Trump is asked if he supports a two-state solution, to which Donald Trump punts to Benjamin Netanyahu and says, Bibi, you answer the question, Bibi. And then Benjamin Netanyahu was like, well, we wouldn't want to commit suicide, and no one should be held prisoners. Seriously, after what we're seeing go down in Gaza, that's what your response right here is, seeing the women and children die in Gaza every day, and what's becoming. Didn't Trump and Netanyahu say they were going to end and they bring peace? This is just horrible stuff. Here, play this clip.
Do you think that there can be a two-state solution that creates an independent?
I don't know. I'd ask Bibi that question. You have the greatest man in the world to answer that age-old question, two-state. Go ahead. You give him your honest answer.
I think Palestinians should have all the powers to govern themselves, but none of the powers to threaten us. And that means that certain powers, like overall security, will always remain in our hands. Now, that is a fact. And no one in Israel will agree to anything else because we don't commit suicide. We want life, we cherish life for ourselves, for our neighbors. And I think we can work out a peace between us and the entire Middle East with President Trump's leadership. And by working together, I think we can establish a very, very broad peace that will include all our neighbors.
Of course they lie about everything. And then a reporter asked Donald Trump, tell us about your Palestinian relocation plan. Is that still on the table? And then Donald Trump again says, Bibi, you could answer. Then he goes, well, they have free will. If they want to leave, they can leave. How do they have free will? That of course there should be a two-state solution. What are we even talking about here? Here, play this clip.
Is your Palestinian relocation plan still on the table? Is there a plan? Has there been any progress in finding countries?
Yeah, Bibi, why don't I let you answer that question?
Mr. President.
Wait a minute. Wait, he's got to answer.
Oh, sorry.
I think President Trump had a brilliant vision. It's called free choice. You know, if people want to stay, they can stay. But if they want to leave, they should be able to leave. It shouldn't be a prison. It should be an open place and give people a free choice.
Then Donald Trump talks about having the pilots at the White House and saying that the pilots were here. And then we also had mechanics, I think about 170 people. Here, play this clip.
You know, it's very, very interesting. We had the pilots here yesterday, as you know, and they were incredible. And we also had the mechanics. We had a lot of people here that had to do, a lot of people, I think about 170 people that had to do with that incredible journey, a journey that could have been horrible. You remember what happened with Jimmy Carter, with the helicopters and all of the problems, and ultimately hostages. We had the exact opposite. Everything was perfect. It worked perfectly. But I didn't realize, I was saying to one, is this something that you felt strongly about? Absolutely, sir. I couldn't wait. I said, better than you, really better you than me. But they couldn't wait. He said, sir, we've been practicing for this mission for more than 20 years.
And then Donald Trump describes Putin's war on Ukraine as a Biden-created monster. Here, watch this.
And they were maybe at a nuclear stage. They're both, nuclear powers. And I think something that was very important. We're trying to help out with a Biden-created monster, this whole thing that's happening with Russia and Ukraine. It's a horrible thing, and I'm not happy with President Putin at all. But this is something that would have never happened if I were president. This was a war that was never going to happen.
And by the way, no one asked him about the Epstein files. I mean, I don't know how, as a reporter, you don't go and ask him. Now you're claiming the Epstein files don't exist. And you claim that there is no list after Donald Trump's now praising Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, who lead the FBI, after they told us that there were the Epstein files that exist. Horrible, horrible stuff right there.